Joe Budden has always been one of hip-hop's most outspoken voices, never afraid to challenge popular opinions, call out artists, or dissect the culture with brutal honesty. But when it came to Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance, Budden did something unexpected. He stood by Lamar, calling him one of the greatest storytellers of all time. This wasn't just another take from Budden. It was a rare moment where he disagreed with critics and refused to entertain the idea that Lamar should have done things differently. The conversation started when Ice and Ish, Budden's co-hosts, questioned Lamar's setlist, suggesting that he should have played more of his mainstream hits. Their argument was simple. A platform as big as the Super Bowl calls for maximum impact, and what better way to do that than by performing songs that everyone knows? But Budden wasn't having it. He shut down the idea that anyone, not fans, not critics, and certainly not podcasters, should tell Kendrick Lamar how to tell his story. And that's the core of the discussion. Kendrick Lamar is not just another rapper. He's an artist, a storyteller, someone who crafts narratives in a way few others can. His music isn't just about catchy hooks or radio-friendly anthems. It's about perspective, depth, and meaning. If he chose a particular set list, it wasn't by accident. Every song he performed had a purpose. Every lyric fit into a larger message. There's a reason why people consider Lamar one of the greatest storytellers in hip-hop. His ability to weave personal experiences, social commentary, and intricate lyricism into his music is unmatched. From Good Kid, Mad City to Pimp a Butterfly and Damn. His albums play out like movies, each track a different scene, every verse a carefully crafted moment that adds to the bigger picture. His storytelling isn't just about rhyming words together. It's about taking listeners on a journey, making them feel every emotion, and forcing them to see the world through his eyes. Take Good Kid, Mad City, for example. It's more than an album, it's a cinematic experience. It tells the story of a young Kendrick growing up in Compton, navigating the pull of street life while trying to find his own path. The way he paints pictures with his words, the way he makes listeners feel like they're right there with him, experiencing every moment. It's on another level. Songs like The Art of Peer Pressure and Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst aren't just tracks. They're narratives that unfold in real time, filled with tension, emotion, and raw truth. And then there's To Pimp a Butterfly, an album that took storytelling to an even higher level. Instead of just telling his own personal experiences, Lamar zoomed out and crafted a broader narrative about Black identity, systemic oppression, and self-discovery. Songs like How Much a Dollar Cost are proof of his genius. In that track, he tells the story of an encounter with a homeless man who asks him for $1, only for Lamar to later realize that the man was a representation of God. That's not just storytelling. That's poetry, philosophy, and introspection all wrapped into one. Even Damn, which felt more commercial than his previous projects, was built around a deep, complex narrative. The entire album could be played in reverse order and still tell a cohesive story, a concept that's rarely attempted, let alone executed flawlessly. Tracks like Duckworth showed just how sharp his storytelling remains, breaking down a real-life moment where a decision from Top Dog, the founder of TD, unknowingly saved Lamar's father's life, an event that, had it gone differently, would have changed everything. Budden understands this. He knows that Kendrick Lamar isn't just an artist who makes songs. He creates worlds. That's why he defended him so strongly. When Ice and Ish suggested that Lamar should have leaned into more recognizable hits, they were thinking about the performance from a mainstream perspective. But Budden was looking at it differently. He recognized that Lamar doesn't just perform. He delivers messages. And you can't dictate how an artist like Lamar chooses to share his message. It's interesting to see Budden, who has criticized Lamar in the past, take this stance. He's built his brand on not holding back, on calling things exactly as he sees them. But this time, he refused to entertain any negativity about Lamar's choices. That speaks volumes. It shows that even someone as blunt and critical as Budden understands that certain artists operate on a different level, and Lamar is one of them. This entire debate brings up a larger question. What do people really want from hip-hop? Do they want artists to simply cater to mainstream expectations, or do they want them to stay true to their artistry? Lamar had a choice at the Super Bowl. He could have gone the easy route, played all his biggest hits, and given the crowd exactly what they expected. But that's not who he is. He chose to stay true to his artistry, to perform songs that meant something, even if it wasn't the most obvious crowd-pleasing setlist. And that's what separates the good from the great. Anyone can make hits, but only a few can truly tell stories that stand the test of time. That's why Kendrick Lamar's music isn't just popular in the moment. It's studied, analyzed, and appreciated years later. His albums aren't just collections of songs, they're pieces of history. They reflect the times, capture emotions, and challenge listeners to think deeper. Budden's defense of Lamar isn't just about one performance. It's about recognizing the importance of true artistry in hip-hop. It's about respecting the craft, understanding that some artists are bigger than trends, bigger than radio hits, bigger than momentary hype. Lamar is one of those artists. He doesn't need to follow the rules. He creates his own. And that's why he'll always be remembered as one of the greatest storytellers in hip-hop history.